Alan, tell me about the movie Scrambled.
Okay, so admittedly, I saw Scrambled at South by Southwest last year. And it's a comedy. Stars Leah McKendrick. She plays Nellie. She is a woman who is in her, let's say, early 30s to mid 30s, and she realizes that her biological clock is ticking, and her prospects for boyfriends are waning, at least good ones. And then all her friends are feeling the pinch too, and so they're getting married, and now she's the bridesmaid at all these weddings. And the big theme of this movie is that Nellie is going in to get her eggs frozen, and she has to go through this fairly extensive hormonal treatment to do it. And that's kind of this film is the story begins and ends with the treatment. But it's basically it just harkens back to those old comedies where it's not about as much as it is about gender and sex. It's about the nuances of it, especially for a woman in her mid 30s who wants to have children but just can't do it right now, can't find the right guy, and a lot of this along her journey is her trying to find the right guy, and realizing ultimately that she may not be the best. She may not be wife material. Let's put it that way, and that's why she's going through. She's going through all of the problems that she is. It's a comedy. I did laugh. There's some nudity for those of you who like that stuff. Clancy Brown is in it. He's great. Ego Wodum is in it from Saturday Night Live. Yvonne Strahovski. It's just, to me, subject matter aside, it's not going to be for everybody. It's definitely a woman's film, a story about a woman. It's got good comedy. She's a really good writer, and you wonder why she's not getting work. In fact, she talked about at South by Southwest, she was originally on one of the writers of the Grease television show, and they fired her, and then they replaced her with a bunch of writers who couldn't do it. And you wonder what that show could have been like if she had written it, because this is a well-constructed movie. It's, there's feminism in it, but I wouldn't say it's woke. I'll sell it that way. It's not for everybody, but if anything here that sounds interesting to you, go out and see it. It's in theaters. I gave it a, let me scroll down here. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
That's a pretty high score. I did watch the trailer this morning because I noticed that it was in theaters. And after watching the trailer, I just thought to myself, I don't know that this movie is for me.
And it may not be. I will say that, the humor is a bit raunchy, and I think it will appeal to men, but it's like it's like watching Sex in the City. Men watch it, but it's really not for men.
You know what? When you said Sex in the City, you had me not buying a ticket after hearing that. So I don't think I'm going to see it. I watched the trailer and I'm like, this really isn't for me. And I am just it would be. That's a movie that, I would be dragged to see it by someone. That's probably the only way I would see it at this point.
Sorry, I pulled this one up just because the filmmaker is very good, and like I said, she talked about being on that Grease project. She was like, I think they were looking at her to be the showrunner, and at one point, it just got to the point of they're dropping her and they're going with the woke writers that they went with.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So, Alan, do you recommend Scrambled?
I do. But for a specific audience.